to another episode of the Strain Damage Podcast. This is your brain
on buzz.
It's your brain on buzz. You already know what time it is. Mary Jane's Cafe is in the process of renovations, but we did manage to sneak back in. And we have a very special guest. This is a turning point for Strain Damage. The out-of-state OGs are starting to fuck with us when they come to New Mexico. And we have one of them here in the building. The co-founder of People's Ecosystem, cannabis-infused chef extraordinaire, Chef Charleen.
What's up? What's up?
Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Absolutely.
And I know when you're out here, you're busy making shit happen.
Yep, always. All right, there's a lot to do here in New Mexico, and I'm excited of what we're gonna bring to the table.
Oh yeah. So and you are coming here from Oakland, correct?
Yeah, from the Bay Area.
Hey, shout out to the Bay.
Yeah. DDG got ties to the Bay, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I have some family out there for sure.
Heck yeah.
I used to live in
Put it on for the Bay. Love it here.
No, I used to live in Oakland too, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah, most of my businesses started in Oakland. Had my first restaurant there. I mean, it just grew from restaurant to retail store, then a private dispensary, a collective, speakeasy, and now we're here in New Mexico.
Oh yeah. So you started. So I guess growing up you grew up in Oakland. That part of it?
Well, I was actually born in the East Coast.
Okay.
And then my family, we moved to California in the Bay Area in like '92.
Okay.
So the Bay raised me, so that's kind of where I was raised.
Yeah.
I lived throughout the Bay Area most of my life, and yeah, I mean it's a never-ending story where I'm from.
For sure. So how did you get started cooking? Like how did the culinary genius arise?
So it's always been in my blood. Like, I bring it back to my roots of my grandmother, to my mom, and to my sister. Like, my family's always been like a culture of having food on the table, on the stoves. In the Filipino culture, where we celebrate and buy good food, and that's what gathers us
Yeah, it's
together.
a social communal activity.
It's always like, I noticed in a lot of cultural households, like when it comes to food, it's just something that really brings everybody together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When grandma or mom's in the kitchen cooking up one of those like homemade meals, everybody's ready to eat that.
Heck yeah. And I'm not culinary trained, so I'm thankful that I was brought up in that way to bring food to the table for my people. It was my way of also bringing Filipino food to folks that never even had Filipino food. So that was really near and dear to my heart, was to push Filipino food, push the culture, and
Yeah.
So
For our local viewers, right? Because Strain Damage worldwide, right? But some of our local viewers are relatively unfamiliar to certain types of foods in New Mexico. I've put on several people to Middle Eastern food by taking them to Sahara, which if you're into that, you should definitely go. But what does Filipino food typically consist of?
I like to describe it as, our country has been colonized in so many ways, so it's like a mix of Asian and Spanish cultures. We got the noodles, but we got the bomb Java rice that's savory, got sour, sweet, like we kind of have all the palates. But it is Asian derived as well as Spanish derived.
So there's like a lot of different flavors.
Sounds like that gas.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a little something for everyone.
Comfort food for sure. All the soul food. That was my specialty, is comfort food, Filipino comfort food.
And that your first restaurant, that's what it was, Filipino food?
Yeah, it was Filipino comfort food. It was called Kaibigan. It was two play on words with kain in Tagalog means to eat, and Kaibigan means friend. So it was always like, the tagline was, let's eat my friends.
Okay, cool.
The homies would come through. I'm thankful that.
You gotta put a comma in there though.
Yeah, that's it. I opened it in Oakland, and the community is what pushed me to open a restaurant. And they did a crowd fund for me to to make it happen. I used to, again, do pop-ups like at the clubs. I was the one that would be making lumpia in the back, frying something, Filipino-infused tacos.
Lumpia, if you are uneducated, lumpia is one of the ultimate stoner
So if
foods.
you seen her and you was out and about, you knew it was gonna be a good night. That's what
Yes.
I'm saying. Because everybody likes when they're getting lit, especially to get that good food. And like you said, it's soul food. Because you learn that from the roots, you know what I mean? So that's really, I think it's important to see how people like you are really just pushing your culture out in like dishes, and people eat it, and it's just like, it's like a connection almost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what, I think it was Ratatouille. When he eats and those little things, like those little frequencies goes off in his brain, it's like that's exactly what you're creating every time.
Absolutely, it's definitely my love language. It's also, I mean, my family, that's our love language, and food.
For sure. So you started doing pop-ups, then started this first restaurant. How did you sort of start getting into infusion and cannabis, and how did that come into play?
So I'm old school. When I started infusing, I did the classic brownie.
Yeah.
Got some trim, had a crock pot, put it in with some butter, let it sit and wait, and then I made my batch of brownies. That was my first round. Just infusing, baked goods or something, Rice Krispie treats and all that. I grew more fascination when I had folks that were in the industry or like on the legacy market. They would be trimming, they would always ask me like, hey, do you want this trim? And at that time, they weren't processing extra, the extra material into like oils and all that yet, like nothing like the dabs that we have now. And from that, I learned how to make Rick Simpson oil, or what they call cannabis oil, where you decarb the flour first, and then you soak it in like a high percentage alcohol, and then you let it purge and evaporate, and all you're left is with concentrated oil. So I learned that, and once I learned that, I got that piece tested, and once I got that number, that's it. Like, I learned how to dose edibles properly. I built trust with people that would take edibles and they were still fearful of like getting overly too high, or they don't know when it's gonna hit. Like, I did enough where I'm like, I want to be able to provide edibles that folks can handle.
Yeah.
But it literally started after hours at my restaurant. Again, like, I was gifted like pounds of trim.
Yeah.
And I would decarb trays of it after hours in my restaurant. And then I would just soak it, and either soak it with oil, or so on the under, I went to a nail salon that got the 99% alcohol.
Hey.
And I washed it, made the green dragon juice. I took my rice cooker.
The green dragon juice?
Yeah, that's alcohol and the trim. I had a 25 cup rice cooker, took that solution, poured it in there, and from that I turned on the rice cooker and it purged, and I got about over 20 grams of cannabis oil.
In a rice cooker?
In a rice cooker, just purged in a straight line. Imagine when you get an oil change, slick oil.
See how it always comes back to culture somehow?
Yeah, it's medicine that, again, like, if you look back at how medicine was made back then, it's similar to that.
Yeah.
You're taking the plant and you're gonna extract it, whether it's water, a solvent, or however, fat. I mean, that's how our people did it, I've heard stories of like my friend's grandparents, they would take, again, like an herb, and they put it in some type of solution, whether it's an alcohol or something, but they would use that topically, right? Like, I don't know, I remember like my grandparents would always either have the mentholated or Vicks, right? So I think even pre-Vicks, that was the Vicks back then, the herb and the medicine, so.
And that's when, I feel like that's the best though, you know what I mean? When it resorts to the herbs, that's why it's like, finally that we're going back to where it's something that like people aren't really getting in trouble now. It's legalized everywhere. It's something that people could actually really take advantage of in other states. Is really cool to see. And it's cool to see someone like you who has all these recipes that you're innovating into it, you know what I mean? And making it when it comes to edibles and consuming cannabis through certain food, it's like an exciting thing, you know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
definitely another way to enjoy it and to, not everybody wants to smoke.
A
And
lot of people like edibles.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell, you know what I mean? It's more discreet. You can eat one when you wake up, eat one before you go to sleep.
No, for most of society, it definitely helps reduce the stigma around it, and psychologically, based on the norms of society, you can look at it as medicine. It's easier to view for some people. How did your personal journey with cannabis start?
My personal journey started, at a young age, as a teenager, and we copped a first twomp. And then you have you and your homies, sharing that one twomp sack, like it was the best thing ever. And from there, that was more just for fun at the time,
Yeah.
as a teenager, and you're like, yeah, we got the twomp sack,
And
and we got 5 on
Is
it.
that like a 20?
It's a 20, yeah.
Okay.
I may be a little bit outdated, but we got the 10 sacks, we got the twomp sacks. But yeah, like I just remember.
That's fire ass slang. I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
Oh.
I heard that shit.
That's fire.
That's some 90s Bay Area shit. Damn.
Well, they had dime sacks, right? So dime sacks is like the $10
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, the twomp was like the one that you get to share with the homies. They're like, let's get that twomp. It was that fire 1 grammer. But yeah, it started then, just like that, and I jumped into the legacy market because I learned that hey, people they wanted bud. I had access to it, and there was another form of making money.
Yeah.
And it's not like I wanted to be the most richest, but I wanted more to provide, but
Yeah.
also have an equal return as far as how people access flour and all that. It grew, but it grew to another level again. Like after in the restaurant days, like after hours, I would make the oil, and at the time, my friends were promoters, and they would promote these parties, and I would provide food and all that. And we've always been in the culture of that, of food, parties, and just good weed. And the legalization and recreational started opening up in California. And once they opened, again, me and my friends were just like, let's do this. Why can't we be in the industry?
Yeah.
And we moved towards that. We opened up underground dispensaries, literally in the closet. And from there, we had 3 strains, and they needed edibles. So I'd do 2 bites of chocolate, old school way. And it just grew from 3 strains to 10 strains to vape pens, more edibles.
And you said it was underground?
It was underground. It was
That
like a
is cool.
speakeasy, members only. So
So this is when people's ecosystem started coming together.
it was pre-Peoples.
Oh, pre-Peoples,
It was
okay.
called another name. There was so many changes.
Members only is dope too.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Makes it a little more.
Intimate,
Yeah.
more special, and just it felt more safer for us. It was definitely for our community of folks that just needed better access to the flower and the plant in all forms.
Yeah.
And that was always been our motive. It was just bringing out the good stuff. And as women of color, and understanding what our folks been through, on the war on drugs, again, that was one of our missions, is that, we look like we look like those that are struggling out there, and we wanted to be that face, to show our resilience in this industry. Close to almost 10 years now into the game, there's been so many changes, and there's still, unfortunately, a lot of barriers that you still have to get through just to be in this space.
And hey, definitely a huge salute to you, because you said been 10 years more, and you're still pushing for the people. You know what I mean?
Still out here innovating.
Yeah.
Speaking of innovation, so we have new medical and pharmaceutical grade gummies, fast acting.
Mhm.
And how much of a punch are we packing?
So, my understanding is that folks here in New Mexico just love the higher dose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's accurate. Yeah.
Every time I see the lower doses, it's just like pointless to me.
Yeah. It's like they just wanna
It's like
take
a
your money.
tease. It's a tease. Even my uncle, even like, I had to make him a believer on edibles because he's like, every time I eat them, they don't do nothing to me. And I'm like, it's because you're getting those ones from the dispensaries that have those like,
No, you gotta go.
no dosage, you know what I mean? It's like 10 milligrams the whole packet or some crazy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but yeah, we just dropped these medical grade gummies. It's a passion fruit flavor.
Oh
Passion
shit.
fruit.
Literally fresh off the mold. Like
So fire.
Oh shit.
about 25 milligrams.
We got the R&D here at Strain Damage. Y'all motherfuckers don't have that. Strain
It's
Damage
clean.
worldwide.
And why it's pharmaceutical grade is we.
Hey, those are fire.
Yeah.
Hey, they taste good for real.
Yeah.
Not covered in sugar.
I can tell it's gonna get me high though. Like
Yeah.
I like edibles when I know it's gonna get me lit, but like I know it's gonna be a good.
DBG doing edibles on the podcast produces
11:01
hilarious
is
results.
the timestamp. 11:01 is the timestamp, just so you know when the buzz kicks in.
Oh, okay, 11:01, so we will time that. Alright. How is cannabis, this is something I'm personally curious about, right? We've mentioned Filipino culture, right, large part of your life. How is cannabis kind of viewed in your community? Is it something that still has a stigma? Is something that's slowly being removed?
Yeah, I mean, in the Filipino culture you're talking about?
Yeah, like maybe the diaspora, right, in the United States. Or...
There's still definitely that stigma. Like my parents are constantly still trying to chisel the wall down. They understand that I'm in the industry, but it blows my mind when my mom's like, "Are you smoking that?" And I'm like, "No, I've been in this game for a long time."
So yeah.
Yeah, and it's still a lot of education they need to understand. Like they still picture it as, "Oh, that's drugs. You're a drug dealer." You know, it's a joke in the family.
Yeah.
You're a drug dealer, and I'm like, "I'm a good one."
Yeah. I'm a former Chopped winner.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did that happen on getting on Chopped?
I'm chopped. So, my business partner applied, and I didn't know, but I get a call. I was running my restaurant at the time. I get a call and they say, "Hey, we're casting for Chop, and we'd love to have you on there." I was so shocked. I've never received a call from a casting agency like that, and
That's like my favorite, but like, bro, I watched every single one. Hey, like, for real, like at a young age too, like when that show was made, it was like at the time where I had to wait to see the next
Yeah.
episode type shit.
Your favorite rapper watches the Food Network.
Hey, no, that's crazy though. Like,
Yeah.
hey, my bad, I had to just put that out. That's insane.
It's all good. But yeah, they called me and they said, "We'd like to interview you to be on the show." We went through that process, and I interviewed, and then they said, "We'll call you back when we want to do the show or not air it, but start filming." And then they told me the date of when it was going to be, and it was actually like almost 6 months later. So the anticipation, I didn't even know like when it was until like each month I was waiting for a call until they said, "Okay, we're going to be filming in January. We're going to fly you to New York, go to New York, and you go through this process." And understanding the game, it's like 3 rounds, you're against other chefs. And I mean, it's a real deal. Like these reality chef shows are real. And behind the scenes is pretty interesting. It was a 1-day take, but I took it down. I was going against 3 other class, or how would I say it? They were classically trained, or they were professionally trained chefs. One of them had a James Beard award-winning restaurant. Another one was working at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. Another one was running a 6,000 square restaurant. And I had a small little local shop, 10 seats, you know, just straight from the Bay.
But that's the type
Hey,
of
Bang,
stuff.
yeah.
baby. Bang, bang.
Mhm. So my goal was, again, win or lose, I just wanted to really showcase Filipino food, my culture, who I am as a person, I'm brown, I'm hella brown, and hella Filipino,
Hey.
queer, and there's not that much representation on national TV. So that was my opportunity to really show out and take it down.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go smoke this Cubano,
Oh.
okay?
And she did her motherfucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look at this
You gotta
too.
do this.
God
Gotta
damn.
celebrate.
And they put some gas in there too, just so y'all know. This ain't your little booty blunt.
It's the big booty one.
Big booty blunts only at Strain
Booty,
Damage
booty, booty,
Worldwide. Oh, man. Oh, that's
We need a
that's
torch
a
for
10.
this one.
Yeah, that's a 10
You
gram.
need to like 3 lighters at the
Like
same
multiple
time.
lighters. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know. I don't
You gotta puff on it like a cigar.
You gotta rotate it like a rotisserie chicken.
Looks like a little tiki torch.
You can light it on. Light it on camera. It's all good.
She just looked.
You can light it if you want.
This one has more of a torch.
Oh.
That's good.
Boom. Oh dang.
Woo! That's my boss, bro. That's my fucking boss. That's why I learned it.
When people's ecosystem and Strain Damage Worldwide come together, magical things like this 10 gram combined happen.
For real.
Cheers.
Oh shit. Strain Damage Worldwide?
Oh, that's good.
I'm basically psyoping everybody into ad-libbing strain damage. So like strain damage will constantly be a thought in their head and talk effectively. That's
That's the thing. Okay.
we're just programming everybody.
Well, I think it's
Oh,
try one of these again.
I already ate my 4.
he's 100 in. So how did people's, as you were setting up these underground shops, right? Then at some point legalization happens. So how does the people's ecosystem come together?
So that came, well, let's see. So we started in the legacy market as a speakeasy or
Right.
underground market. I mean, just from doing that alone, the customers, the community that we built from that, we needed to do it right, and we wanted to get into the legal market. We saw an opportunity for us that we could also just maybe transition into that, which we did. We were pushing open the People's Dispensary. We got a delivery license, and that's originally how we started from the speakeasy. We did delivery, then we got a first delivery license. But it grew even more. Like we had an opportunity to get a dispensary in Oregon, and that was the fastest route to actually get in the game and to really see the legal market and learn how to do it right. Because Oregon was a little bit more progressive in that sense.
You got to win by Portlandia.
Well, I took it as like me going to college.
No, for sure.
But Portland, I mean, just having the People's Dispensary in Portland, Oregon was a game changer for us, and learning like what it's like to do it right, compliant with compliance and all that. But fast forward from there, we sold that, came back to the California market because that was home, and we wanted to come back to our people and try to get back in the market to build that generational wealth, or just try to be in the industry and
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah.
Then pandemic came and all that, and that's when we pivoted as the People's ecosystem, as opposed to the dispensary.
Yeah, as more of a collection of brands, an accelerator, kind of this community,
Mhm.
basically.
We built such a little like we built ecosystem in the way of how we could all benefit depending on what your needs are. You know, like in making products, or a dispensary, or a delivery. Like from the experience that we had throughout those years, like we had so many different connections from different people of how we could all help each other and basically create like this, our own vertical license that could produce all the things we need in this industry.
Fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's how it should be, like.
People ecosystem, for real.
Mhm.
Shout out to y'all.
I mean, there's still, a lot of challenges and all that, and again, that's always been our thing, like, how we're gonna make this happen wherever we go. It's replicable, and it's just, being resistant and going against those, or just fighting against those barriers that prevent us from trying to win in this game.
For sure.
There's probably a lot of obstacles when it comes to all that you guys do too, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, you know what I mean? It's for the people, and that's why y'all keep going hard, you know what I mean? And you definitely can tell the love's authentic, you know what I mean? It's real. You guys aren't just really in it to get super rich or do this, you know what I mean? It's for the people.
Yeah,
So
no, like compared to
that's love for
consultants
real.
who are trying to take large chunks of equity, like the way we've seen y'all help brands get up and running here in New Mexico has been great, and I mean it's democratizing small business formation in the cannabis industry.
This thing's sweating.
Wait.
This mother's sweating. We have to get back into chopped a little bit more. So like,
Oh, yeah.
how was that, like the actual experience of that, like
The
the
game part?
competition? Yeah, the game part.
It's legit. Like they had, like I said, there's 3 rounds, and there's a mystery basket in each round. We didn't know what to expect, but at the beginning they tell you. Basically, the director will tell you, "All right, everyone, go here, step over here, and then this is what's gonna happen." So we just follow the instructions. I was definitely nervous. Like I'm going against, again, like 3 other trained chefs, and I'm just gonna throw down what I know how to throw down. And the first round, like, yeah, it was nervous because it's like I open it and let me see, there was king crab legs, and there was I know the first round I did like a what I call a crab torta. It's in Filipino culture, a crab torta or torta is like an omelet. But to them, it would probably be like a crab cake. I didn't want to call it a crab cake because then people would be like, "Oh, that's not a crab cake." So I was trying to spit some of my culture in there because they don't know nothing about my culture. And again, that's always been my number one goal with that is to really push Filipino food and just being Filipino.
That's how they do.
The judges were, I felt like they were fair. And then you'll notice some that may be a bit too harsh. But it's definitely an experience, like I did what I can and I took it down, like I said.
The haters wanted a lobster torta instead of a crab.
Right. But there was lobster. I had my entree, I had lobster tail. It was a
Shit.
martini steamed lobster tail.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Martini steamed.
Yeah, they had a martini and then they had a lobster, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this lobster, because I would just throw it, boil it. But I was able to steam it with the martini they had, and it was fun. I mean, again, like the other chefs, I mean, they threw down, I thought they threw down really well too. Like one of them was a French guy, and he did this French sauce, all like fancy schmancy, and he didn't win. They said he overdid it. I mean, he did too much,
He
much
was
sauce.
too French.
Too French, yeah.
Too much sauce.
Too much sauce. And I mean, just being on stage with those folks, like those other chefs. I mean, there were 3 guys, and
Yeah.
one of them did try to intimidate me because he was a kickboxer. He's all like, my name, or he's like, my people call me Bone Crusher, so he was Bone Crusher.
You're like, all right, cool. After you crush the bones, can I use the dust for like topping?
Yeah.
Crunch to my dishes. Like sick, bro. Let me know when you crush the bones.
So I'm drink crusher.
I will crush your hopes and dreams and give you an emotional wreck.
When it comes to that cooking,
Oh, more más cubano. So you are the Chief Innovation Officer of the People's Ecosystem. In tech, that means something completely different, and in some cases is a scam title. But for People's Ecosystem, what exactly does that mean?
Well, me as a Chief Innovation Officer, I mean, the way I took it, and it's funny that you look at it as like that.
No, I don't look at it like
Oh.
as that, but like I've seen examples in tech
Yeah.
where specifically like you know our R&D is done in a way that's like limited and sort of siloed, such that you know ideas that are good don't bubble up to the surface.
Mhm.
But that is not the case, and I apologize.
No, not at all.
I was not at all
I-
suggesting that.
It's funny, I mean, I only say that because when I was appointed as being the Chief Innovation Officer, I mean, I didn't even look it up first of what that entails. I just
Yeah.
took it by what it is, innovation. Innovation has always been part of me. What spoke to me was the creative side of it, like being creative, creating these pathways for how our company moves. That's the way I took it as the Chief Innovation Officer. But I also look at it as, yeah, like we're just creating a better path. I mean, and for the company, it's just creating that better path for our people to be able to be in this industry.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah, so, and part of that includes reimagining the ways that cannabis products are even consumed.
Yes, yep. In the kitchen, outside the kitchen, operation and process, all that. Mhm.
So where do you see like next 5 years in terms of new methods of manufacturing, new ways of doing certain things? Is there anything that kind of sticks out?
That's a good question. It's really unpredictable, but I don't think it should be overly thought in that sense. Like, we just gotta take it back to the medicine. Creating the product and how we're gonna bring it out to the people.
So just keeping the overall flow and process simple, right, in terms of how the
Yeah.
product's created, how you get it out to.
Absolutely, I think it's just, the obstacles are, it's the government, and they're the ones that's creating these barriers of when we're just trying to make something good to provide for people, you know? When they don't have complete control over it, they, you know, again, put stuff to make it harder for us to win.
Yeah, no, that's.
They want to be a part of everything somehow when it comes to money or anything. And it's like not really about that. You know what I mean? It's just creating barriers just because, like what she said, they just want to have some kind of control over it. You know what I mean? It kind of sucks.
And
But hopefully, like you said, with plans of the future, hopefully that's what.
Yeah, I mean-
until that they start letting up a little bit and stop making it so hard for it to be pushed out. You know what I mean? It's probably more or less the pharmaceutical companies as well.
Yeah.
Just you know.
Alright, so about 30 to 40 minutes later, 100 milligrams in,
100 milligrams.
100,
125.
125,
125.
25, 75. I am 75, and now we're at 100. No, never fumbled back. But this is feeling smooth. I'm kind of feeling like this now. It's not fucking up the stomach. you
Yeah, I
know,
was about to say, don't give you the bubble guts. Like some of them edibles make you want to hit the joint. You know what I mean?
It'd be too much.
No, this
That's
is,
why I waited. I ate one, and I was seeing that my stomach didn't get messed up, and then I ate like 5 more because they taste delicious.
And you can feel it. It's not like oh, this edibles ain't shit. Let me eat more and then just get blasted. Like you could feel it, but
It's just I like to get real lit, so pardon me.
it's a
It
smooth
doesn't get you
taste.
too lit though. You know what I mean?
It takes
Like, I
you
feel
up
good.
there nicely.
I feel like I could
Is
like
what
go through the
happens.
rest of my day and not be like too high or not get all like lazy or like want to go to sleep. Like some edibles just put you straight to sleep.
And the great thing with this technology, it converted to a product called Unlocked. It's a protein that encapsulates the cannabis. So why it's not hurting your stomach is because your stomach knows that, oh, that's a protein, that's a good thing that we could process and bypass and go straight into your bloodstream. So, yeah, we have the opportunity to use this
And this is probably better for like people who have like high blood sugar or diabetics.
Exactly. I'm diabetic myself, and I know a lot of folks that also have to deal with that and other ailments. But again, that's one of the reasons why we don't sugarcoat it. No pun, but like this is pharmaceutical grade cannabis right here, and we want to make sure that our people have access to it. That's the thing. You know, we had an opportunity to put this out. Like we're here to full force. And it's just dope that y'all got to try it up to 100 milligrams and more, and to know that it's not tearing up your stomach. You don't feel paranoid or other different ways, but this is actually feeling good, and you're getting the true cannabis from it.
Yeah, definitely a huge shout out, because you know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody else is doing this.
I like when people come on and like, you know what I mean, instead of saying what it is, like they just, you have it right there, you know what I mean? Like, try it, this is what we got, and it's fire, you know what I mean? Like, I personally would buy those myself, and you know what I mean? That's medicine, you know what I mean? So it's a huge salute to you, and
Shout out people's
keep going, you know what I mean?
ecosystem for
Shout out
changing
people's
the game.
ecosystem. Y'all get you some gummies, for real.
Facts.
I was like, right.
Look, you ready?
That's just how I wear my, you know, like an oak.
Like,
Dope.
Yeah.
What?
Look at him just pause out. He's like, all right, all hands on deck.
He's like, I got this.
So our camera's rolling. Let's go. Okay, I'm done.
He's okay. Is my introduction ready?
right? What to me? All right, cool.
Okay, so this entire time, our little buddy to the left over here has just woken up for his nap. Chef, who do we have with us here?
We got Kona Grills with us.
Kona Grills on IG.
Kona
With a
Grills.
Z.
With a Z.
He's an OG for all the youngsters, so make sure you go show love.
Go show love to Kona Grills on IG. Speaking of, Chef, if people want to learn more about what you're doing, you know, whether it's, you know, infused chef stuff or more about people's ecosystem,
Sure.
or anything that you got going on, where can they find you at?
You can go to my website at CAABAY.com or
And that's CAABAY.
correct. Yep.
I'm Indian. We weren't spelling these. Right.
Okay.
Come on now.
Yes. Or you can follow me on IG at Chef Charleen. That's CHARLEEN.
Right on. So yeah, Chef Charleen or CharleenCAABAY.com.
Absolutely, yeah.
Check it
And I'm an
out.
open book. I love teaching, mentoring, or anything like that, collaborations. I love building with community and making stuff happen. So
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
let's keep pushing that, you know.
We got plenty planned for 2024, right?
Mhm. Absolutely. I know I'll be here in Mexico more, making some magic with the team out here, and yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, Chef Charleen, thank you for stopping by and blessing us with your presence.
Hell yeah, thank you.
It was definitely a pleasure having you on for sure.
Word, thank you.
Strain Damage family. See you later.
Peace.